Good evening. A confrontation between an airman and military police turned deadly. Earlier this year, those officers shot and killed the airman after a chase, and now we're getting a first look at what Albuquerque police saw after those gunshots rang out. News 13's Bella Olage has details.
The late-night chase ended just down the street from this base entrance here on Gibson back in February. APD says things escalated when the suspect and military police exchanged gunfire, resulting in the death of 28-year-old Brion Teel-Scott.
Part of the chasing because we're going to detain both military.
Police arrived to a chaotic scene February 22nd at around 2 a.m.
That sun right there is all gas.
Albuquerque police officers found a man later identified as Airman Brion Teel-Scott dead in a driveway of an apartment complex near the Truman Gate of Kirtland Air Force Base. They saw shattered car windows and bloodstains, and officers started evacuating nearby buildings because bullets had caused a gas leak. Several officers moved Teel-Scott's body away from the gas leak to check out his wounds. Military personnel and people working in nearby businesses recounted what led up to the shootout.
These guys ended up saying that this male adult, this DNA, pulled up into their gate, and he is a military man. He does have credentials, and that something went wrong.
We heard the gunshots. We were just taking an order.
My understanding is you're the actual shooter, correct?
We all shot, sir. But
what's that?
We all shot.
Okay. Who's we all?
Everyone that's in uniform, like everyone.
APD says it started when Kirtland security forces noticed Teel-Scott's vehicle registration had expired. That prompted the military officers to search his car at the Truman Gate.
Well, he was already getting agitated and mad that he had to wait there. So I guess when they were doing an inventory check before they impounded his vehicle, they found the marijuana.
When they told Teel-Scott he would be detained,
and that's whenever he took off from his buddy's vehicle, they came to pick him up, and they ended up following him over here.
7 military police officers chased after Teel-Scott on foot.
And the guy I spoke with said that he saw him racket, and he's like, I'm not going to jail for this and that. And
what's up,
he fired first.
APD says Teel-Scott shot at the officers, and one was hit and wounded. Then officers returned fire and killed Teel-Scott. Kirtland Air Force Base reiterated today that they recognize the public's concern about this shooting. They say they, quote, urge the community to avoid drawing conclusions based on preliminary accounts. Bella Olage, KRQE, News 13.
All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. And here we have yet another assassination of a black man, this time 28-year-old Brion Teel-Scott, who was actually a military airman trying to get back on his base when he was assassinated by 6 military police officers. Now I want to show you those police officers, and I'm also going to let you hear from his lawyer, who brings out new evidence to this case. Now, this happened earlier this year in February, but we have heard nothing about this situation in which they're saying the young man pulled up to the gate. When he pulled up to the gate, his tags were expired. Now, I've been stopped with expired tags before. It's not a big deal. Also, he's a military man going on a military base, and these are supposed to be his military cohorts. But instead of letting him go and, giving him a ticket, they said, well, no, we are going to impound the vehicle. And when you see these people who shot him, you're going to understand why, that they probably took that attitude. Now, they're saying while they were impounding the vehicle, they were doing a search and they found some marijuana. And then that is when they said, well, no, you're going to be detained. And they, quote unquote, I guess, called the police. Now, in the meantime, evidently he had called somebody to come pick him up. And that is when that you heard that guy say, well, when we heard that we were calling the police, he ran from the vehicle that was coming to pick him up and went and ran across the street to a Taco Bell. Now they're saying that he brandished the gun. This officer is saying that he fired a gun, but you're going to see some more testimony where all of them are saying 2 different things. And also, the police actually had to tell all 7 of these people that you're going to see to stop discussing what y'all are going to say. They actually literally had to separate them because they were trying to corroborate their stories. But just take a look at some of the scenery where the young man was shot. Now, that is his quote unquote backpack that he had. And you see the bullet casings down there. There you see 3 of them, and I allege that is the gun. Also on the wall, you see the wall. That is how many times they shot the wall. And look at this scenery as well. All of those yellow markings on the streets are shell casings. So imagine how many shots it took to put all of those yellow things down. And here is another example of how many shots they shot. And this, it looks like where the brother met his final demise, as you see the blood-stained concrete. And this right here shows how many bullets were actually fired again. And you see there, they hit the gas main. They shot so many times that they had hit the gas main. And you can see from this location, he was actually cornered, in which you're going to hear his attorney say he tried to surrender. So these officers went above and beyond to assassinate the man. And here's the last picture right here. There you see all of the gunshots. Those orange markings are places where bullets hit. So all of those attempts to hit this man are marked. And there you see at least 20 in this picture. But before I show you these murderous individuals, and you're going to see that they are the usual culprits when they kill black men, except this time instead of a police uniform, they have a military uniform. Just listen to Brion Teel-Scott's family's lawyer explain how once again they hunted this man down like an animal. And these videos are fair use for literary and commentary purposes only.
Shooting near Kirtland Air Force Base in February raised questions about why military police shot and killed one of their own airmen. Now, newly released documents are shedding light on what led up to that shooting. News 13's Jessica Brion spoke with that airman's family's attorney to explain.
He panicked and he ran on the public property, and we know they chased him down, and they hunted him down like an animal.
After a shooting left an airman dead, his family's attorney says they're seeking justice. 28-year-old Brion Teel-Scott was shot and killed outside the Kirtland Air Force Base Truman Gate in February, when a confrontation escalated into a chase and then a shooting. Albuquerque police were not involved in the shooting, but responded to the scene afterwards. According to their reports, Teel-Scott was trying to enter the base when security forces realized his car's registration was expired. Security forces began searching the car and found a bag of marijuana in the trunk under a spare tire. When they told Scott he was going to be detained, the police report says he ran away with 7 military police officers in pursuit. The attorney for Teel-Scott's family says surveillance video shows he tried to surrender.
We know that he reached a Taco Bell and he was cornered. We know he shouted out for help. We know he wanted to turn himself over to the Albuquerque Police Department. We know he surrendered.
But APD's report says that's when things escalated and Teel-Scott fired a gun at the military police, and they returned fire, shooting and killing Teel-Scott. The family's attorney saying those officers fired over 30 rounds, with some bullets hitting a nearby apartment complex.
At the very least, they should have took Brion into custody. He was looking to surrender. That's all. They should have let him walk out, and they should have brought him into custody.
The attorney says they're planning civil action, adding they have not heard directly from Kirtland Air Force Base or received an apology. They say they want justice and for the officers involved to be court-martialed.
For them not to be able to make a decision in, 7 months is very disappointing and disturbing. I mean, this is our military, and we put our belief in the military.
Jessica Brion, KRQE News 13.
In a statement, Kirtland Air Force Base says they recognize the public concern surrounding the events, and they say this incident is still under investigation, adding that they urge the community to avoid drawing conclusions based on, they say, preliminary accounts. All
right. And so there you hear the attorney. Once again, there were over 30 shots and actually shot so many times that one of them actually hit the other. Now let's take a look at these usual suspects that assassinated this young man, shooting over 30 times, hitting him 16 times according to reports. Now this is the first assassin. His name is Jeremy Amar, and this is the second pale-face assassin, Michael the Killer Clarkson. And this is the third one, Jackson Babyface Nelson Killer Vincent. And this is the third one, Cameron the Killer Chavieres. And this is the fourth one, the fifth one, excuse me, William I Got Shot by My Friends Frazier. And this is the sixth assassin, Kalima I'm Just Along for the Ride Dixon, the one lone pickaninny who shot our dear black brother. So all of those six individuals are to blame for his death. And what makes it sad, once again, that they were colluding, trying to get their story together, and Albuquerque police actually had to separate them to prevent them from making a clear-cut story. And that is why you're about to see some of the conflicting statements. It says, shortly after the officer's instruction, a senior NCO from the 377th Security Forces Squadron wearing civilian clothes arrived on the scene and directed all the airmen to cross the street back onto Kirtland Air Force Base, effectively removing them from civilian control investigation area. So basically they separated them from the police. Now, the conflicting statements emerged regarding whether Teel-Scott fired at the airman. Some claim he brandished the firearm and fired first. Others say they only heard a click, possibly indicating a malfunction. Teel-Scott's autopsy confirmed multiple gunshot wounds, but authorities have not confirmed if he fired a weapon. And so you can best believe if he fired a weapon, they would have confirmed it. And so kudos to those police on the scene for getting them separated, because they were not supposed to be discussing what they were going to say. Well, they was probably in a huddle like the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles trying to quarterback this thing like Denzel in Training Day. And, you know, the lawyer made some great points. They shot him in the back. Those bullet wounds, some of those bullet wounds were in the back of our dear brother, Mr. Till. And let me show you a couple of photos of him so we can give a face to our brother. This is him right here, very happy, 28-year-old. You see he has the eagle up there, very proud to probably serve his country. And he was coming from, you know, what people are saying is a social event. And he was accosted by these military guys who are supposed to be on his team. Just take one last listen to this lawyer. Then, you know, we're going to end this broadcast. But once again, this is just an example of whatever you are as a black man in America, you are always the target of assassination, whether you're military, police, a regular citizen doing your job, a paramedic, lawyer, whoever, you are subject to this tyranny that we call law enforcement. Just watch.
How could it be that someone is shot in the back? How are they chased in public property? How are they shot so many times? And there's no explanation. We're not going to stand for acts like this. Brion Teel-Scott was in the Air Force, stationed out in Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was coming back from a social event, coming onto the base. He had a run-in with some MP officers. They wanted to search his car for potential marijuana. He got nervous. He got concerned. He ran off the base into public property. And for whatever reason, these officers chased him down. They've shot over 30 rounds, shot him in the back and killed him. And they just want to scrub it and wash it away like it never happened. We're not going to stand for it. And I think this is an opportunity for myself and the lawyers in this firm to go after the military head on
And we're now setting up camp out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we're going to do that. And we welcome the challenge, and we're going to be successful.
And once again, shout out to the law firm and shout out to the family of Mr. Scott. This case has had no national coverage. And if I'm not mistaken, I may have gotten a call from his father, but we were never able to get the details of the story. But now this story is out. Please share this video to let everyone know that, once again, even if you are a black man in the military, you are still not safe. Being shot 16 times, a few in the back, as well as being a military personnel person. The only issue was his tags were expired. Now, they are also saying that he was scheduled for a less than honorable discharge a couple of days before his or after his death. Therefore, I see that, he may have had a problem with some of these guys, or some of these guys may have had a problem with him, therefore causing this situation to escalate. Nevertheless, they're being less than transparent. They're not making statements. They're not saying, okay, well, did he? They're still not saying that he fired his gun. But these people on the scene said, well, we heard a click. Well, he just brandished the firearm. But first they said, oh, yeah, he fired first. You heard the guy say he fired first, justifying their cold-blooded murder of our brother. Man, rest in peace, Brion Teel-Scott. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for liking, watching, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And as always, I pray you have peace and blessings. The scripture says all things that are hidden shall be revealed, and those things done in secret shall be exposed on the mountaintop.
Let's go, Rich. Let's go. You watching Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news, throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Who keep the people informed? Stories abroad from literary work, where the narrative's wrong. The research is always on point, the commentary is hard. It's Rich Teller raising the bar. Follow along, shout out to FBA, still FTP, big up in FAC. And all my black families, it's three sides to all stories. Which one you gon' believe? We run down on the false prophets when they come to deceive. 100% urban world news, current events. We don't like them lies. Media is biased, we got God beside us. Ladies and just as power. If you don't know by now, look around, we the darkest hours. Cops squeezing hammers, they don't understand us. We stop and freeze with our hands and kill us off like cancer. Don't speculate before the facts on the case. Telehouse, set them straight, my brother Rich investigates. You got your Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news, throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing.
Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the